what is the relationship between the remnant and the three angels' messages?
Excellent question. If you look at Revelation 14 has the final message for the world, verse 6 through 12. Of course, Revelation 18, 1 through 5 is an amplification of the third angel's message. Now, after Revelation 14, 6 through 12, or down to 13, we have the coming of Christ, as represented by Christ sitting on a horse, having a sickle in his hand and a crown on his head, which means that the messages of Revelation 14, 6 to 12 are very, very critical. They are the messages that prepare the world to receive Christ. He must come back. Now, if you look at the last part of Revelation 14, from verse 14 on, we have two harvests, and both are ripe. It is the preaching of the three angels' messages that brings the world to the point of ripeness, either for Christ or against him. Either way, this is the state the world must reach before Jesus comes, because Christ will not come and put in the sickle except the harvest is ripe. Joel chapter 3, verse 13, put ye in the sickle, for the harvest is ripe. Mark 4, 28, 29, when the harvest is come, immediately he putteth in the sickle. And so the messages of Revelation 14, 6 through 12 are designed to ripen the harvest one way or the other. And the remnant are called to deliver that message boldly, even at the loss of life. The same way they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of their testimony, and they loved not their lives unto the death. Revelation 14, 11, the remnant must have that same attitude. We don't care about our lives. We're not reckless, but our lives are not our most precious possession. Our precious possession is truth, as it is in Jesus. The remnant has been raised up to declare the end time messages of Revelation 14, 6 through 12, which no other church on the face of the earth does not even attempt to deliver. That's the purpose of the remnant, not only to preach it, but to live it. So the living of it gives power to the preaching of it.
Amen. Amen. So we have a work to do as God's people to give that loud cry. And I was listening to another lecture on the Remnant Church, and we also see in Revelation chapter 10 how God literally raised up a people to declare the three angels' messages to the world.
And that's clearly stated in the last verse of Revelation 10. I must prophesy again before people, nations, kindreds, and tongues. The prophesying must go on. It did not end with 1844. It has to go on. And it will crescendo in a loud cry. When that is preached, that's when Christ will come. After that is preached, probation closes, the plagues fall, Christ comes back.
Amen. Amen. So we gotta work. We have to get that loud cry so that people can come out of Babylon, and they can have
that work must take priority in our lives. I cannot stress this enough. Titus 1 verse 16 says, they profess that they know God, but in works they deny him. We are experts at giving God lip service, but when the rubber hits the road, we are nowhere to be found. The preaching of the gospel must become a priority for us. We must find ways to do it on the job, in the streets, wherever. It must be this all-consuming priority, so that Christ can come back. It's not just we need to do it in words, we need to actually commit our lives to it and do it even if it means loss of life. It has to be a priority with no challenge from any other concern.
Amen. That thought comes to mind. The preaching of the gospel is a practical priority for God's people. Amen.